Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this one, I'm going to talk about a very amazing project. And of course, they have their very own token as well. And this is a project that I would say revolutionary, that is going to bring massive changes, not just to one industry, but in the overall crypto industry, because it solves a problem that is pretty frequent in crypto. And that problem is degrading the entire industry. So why crypto became popular was because there were a lot of cases in which people became millionaire. And because of that, a lot of people started chasing these 10x, 50x, 100x, 1000x projects. But nowadays, you would notice that almost 99% or almost 99.9% of these projects that launch promising like 10x, 50x, 100x, promising this utility, this adoption, and in the end, they get rug pulled. In the end, the developers run off with the money. And that is breaking morale and trust in the entire crypto industry to a point where people don't want to invest in newer tokens, because not only do you have the risk of getting, that token getting sniped or MEV bots, but also when times get tough, the developers, they rug pull the project. They sell their entire allocation, dumping the price. Now you have two different type of projects, one that are decided and they have the pure intent of scamming people. Of course, when the price increases, first of all, they fake the volume, they fake the trading volume, they pump the price, people enter, they use their entries as exit liquidity, they get out of their positions, and people are left holding empty, holding bags that have no value. So you have these type of people and these type of projects that never have a chance to succeed here because they were made with the intent of scamming people. But there are also projects that are developed with pure intent of actually developing something. But when times get tough, developers and the treasury, they sell those allocations and they dump the price because they invested into that project and now they're looking at it failing. So they want to minimize their losses. So they sell the entire allocation, the developers and the treasury. And because of this, people who, invested in those tokens, they lose their money. So even if you have good intent or bad intent, you face, it's the retail that experience these losses. And because of this, now, even if you have a genuine project with a really good product and it has chances to succeed in the market, but because people don't trust, that project cannot succeed. So this is the project called Brigid Forge that is going to fix that issue. And I think it's going to be revolutionary. And how they're doing this is, first of all, it's on the Binance Smart Chain. They are going to launch in a few days, actually in just 2 days. I'm going to show you guys how this is going to work. We have the testnet. So we're going to test this entire system here. And I'll show you guys how it actually works. Now, this is a platform. This is, if we go for the proper definition, this is a transparency first blockchain infrastructure product. So this is a layer on top of the blockchain layer, that is the Binance Smart Chain. And its mission is to provide the crypto ecosystem with structural on-chain tools that embed accountability at the moment of token launch, not as a claim, but as a verifiable, immutable contract. Because a lot of these developers, they make a lot of these claims that we have vesting, we have lockups, we have this and that. We have done these audits, so it's completely fair, it's completely secure. But when things get tough, they do have the function, they do have the authority to take those allocation and sell them. So now they have developed this system where they're not just fake promises, they are verifiable, immutable contracts that cannot change, and they are verifiable. So here's how it works. We have the Brigid launch system that is in the center, that is the platform, which is a complete guided platform that enables any project to launch token with structural transparency in minutes. So this is a system that you can use, that developers can use to launch their token. And they, it makes it really simple and easy for people to launch their tokens. Now, what comes afterwards is that this system, the BLS, it walks founder through every step. That includes the token creation, the vault deployment, the liquidity pool setup, LP locking, and real-time monitoring activation. I'm going to explain what this means and how it actually works. So they have made this entire process that developers go through in order to create that token. So they create the token, they deploy the vault, they set up the liquidity pool, they lock the LPs, and they have real-time monitoring. And in this, everything is done with the standards of the Brigid launch system. And if the developers follow that entire process and fulfills all the criteria that they have provided, if they do this, they receive the BLS certified, this status. That means that they have done all these, they have fulfilled all these criteria. They have a verifiable on-chain designation of the highest standard of developer accountability in the ecosystem. That is something that the retail can trust, that this developer has gone through this entire process and everything here is safe and secure and transparent. And they have this Brigid transparency system, and in this we have two components here. That is the Brigid vault. So when you deploy the vault deployment, that includes the developer allocation, also the treasury allocation. This is an on-chain enforcement layer. So we have this time delayed system in which, first of all, we have vesting. That means you cannot, all the tokens in the vault, they're not unlocked, altogether. They have vesting here. And when developers want to withdraw from that vault or from the treasury, it is time delayed. So that means if the developer wants to withdraw from that vault, it is announced beforehand, and the members, they get notified that the developer wants to withdraw this amount of money for this purpose. Now, if their intent is to rug pull, people would know before it actually happens. So they can pull out before the developer can. And this is an amazing system that they have developed here. Now, the next thing is the Brigid beacon. Now, this is a visibility layer. This is like a dashboard, a monitoring interface, which is a live progressive web application that broadcasts all vault activity to the community before execution occurs. So we have this Brigid vault in which the developers funds and the developer allocation and treasury allocation and all such different team allocation, they are stored, there's vesting on them, and they are time delayed. So every time someone wants to withdraw from this vault, it is announced. And they have this application in which members, people, users, holders, they can monitor and they get notified when anyone from the developer and team that wants to withdraw from that vault, and they are announced and they are notified before the withdrawal actually happens. And in that way, they are held accountable. And if they do plan on rug pulling, people get notified before it actually happens, so they can pull out before the developer can. And this keeps the developers and teams, it keeps them accountable that they cannot do anything, because if they try to do anything, it will be announced before that actually happens. So in the end, they won't actually benefit. Now, we do have the Brigid token. That is what these developers, that uses Brigid Forge to launch their token, to launch their project, they will be using this token to pay for it. They have their own revenue system in which Brigid, this project, will be generating revenue. And here's how it works. So the Brigid token is both the first live deployment of the system. So this, obviously this token is deployed with the very same standards that all these other people that will be deploying their project and token from the system. It uses the same standards. And the economic engine of the broader ecosystem. So access to Brigid infrastructure tools requires Brigid, this token. Revenue routed through the on-chain revenue router is split on a fixed ratio. That is, so this revenue, 100% of it, 40% goes to Brigid stakers. So you have the option to purchase Brigid tokens and you can stake them and you earn more tokens because you have staked them. And this is where the staking rewards come from. They come from the revenue. So 40% goes to Brigid stakers, 50% goes to the treasury, and 10% goes to the burn address. That removes it from circulation. That makes it de-inflationary. Now you can get more details from the white paper, like, it's on the Binance Smart Chain network. We have the token name that is Brigid. It has a fixed supply, no mint, and locked liquidity. This is what every token that is launched, from the Brigid, from the BLS, system, the Brigid launch system. Every token that is launched from the Brigid launch system, it will have a fixed supply, it will have no mint, it will have locked liquidity, and also it will have renounced ownership. This is their flagship product. We already have discussed these things, and this is the vesting model, and this is the withdrawal delay. So again, it uses the same standard. It will have this token has the same standard that every other token that launches through the BLS system will have. So this is the whole project in a nutshell. Of course, there's more details to it that you can go into, but this is how this whole system works. Through this system, developers can launch project and they can be sure that users can trust this system, because they cannot trust developers. They cannot trust their empty promises. What they can trust is a system that holds these developers accountable, that is transparent. And that is what they have developed. And I think this is really amazing, especially for people, for developers that have good intent, because now this gives them, this gives retail a reason to trust them. And that's really amazing. So this is in a nutshell what this project is. You can launch the project. So you have this launchpad through the BLS system, and you have this beacon that is the live monitoring. You have the Brigid Vault, in which the developer and the treasury and the team allocation that is stored, that has vesting on it, and it is time delayed. So every time developers or team they wants to withdraw from that, from the vault, it is announced to the members, to the community beforehand. And we also have staking of the Brigid token, so you can earn more from this. So this is in a nutshell what this whole project is. Now let's take an actual look at how it works. So right now we are in the testnet. The launch is going to be in 1 or 2 days. Probably by the time that the video is live, you're going to have 1 day. So it's going to be live by the time that you're watching this video. And we have information about the token itself, and we're going to take a look at it, although we have discussed part of it, but we're going to take a look at its allocation, how it's used, the utility, and the different token parameters, and the whole revenue system that we have here. We are going to talk about that. But before that, we have to talk about how it actually works. So when you check out the testnet, of course, you can connect your wallet, you can put in your address, make sure that you have the BNB testnet in your wallet. So I'm using MetaMask, and I have the testnet address for BNB added in here, and that is actually what I'm using right now. And you can it says use connected wallet. So when I click on this, it will automatically be added, and you can claim 1 TBNB, that is test BNB, and you will claim that in your wallet. Now, once you have received the TBNB, you can actually test out the swap. So you can come to the Pancake Swap, click on connect wallet. I'm going to connect my wallet here. And once it is connected, we can swap TBNB to Brigid. So you can add any value here. I'm going to go with 0.5 TBNB, and it is going to calculate how much Brigid I'm going to get. Of course, this is just a test. Now it says price impact is too high, proceed with caution, but this is just a test net, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to click on swap anyway, and we are going to confirm the swap. I'm going to write confirm and click on OK. I'm going to verify it from my MetaMask. Click on confirm, and it should be done. Now, once you have the TBNB and also Brigid, because we will be using this to test out the system, you can go ahead and click on, we're going to click on learn. And when we go to the apps and tools, we can see we have the Brigid launch, we have the Brigid beacon, we have the Brigid staking, and we can buy Brigid token. So when we want to test the Brigid launch and the Brigid beacon, click on Brigid launch. Now in this, we're going to connect our wallet to begin. And I think my wallet is just connected. So it says start new launch. And it says choose your launch path. Meme launch is the fast and standardized path. Custom launch is the full builder. I'm going to go with meme launch because we just want to test it out. In the custom launch, I think we get more control. It says we get full launch control for project tokens with custom walls, recipe investing, and so forth. For meme, it's just a meme token, so it's going to be very easy. So get simple setup. You get clear token split. You get BNB liquidity tiers and beacon included. We're going to click on meme launch. Now this is where we're going to add the token name that we want to go for. So I'm going to write a name for the token. I'm going to add a symbol for it. We can add, this is just a test token, just a quick description for it. We can upload an image for it, or we can generate with AI, which I think is pretty good. I'm going to write test token. Hopefully it works. And you can add the website link and the Twitter and also the Telegram and all that information. So while it generates, we're going to move forward. We are going to select the token supply. I'm going to go with 1 billion. I think that's the standard that we have. And this is where we're going to decide the liquidity and the developer split. So in this, developer gets nothing. They can buy from the, from the public sale or pre-sale. So we get 100% into liquidity, or 95% liquidity and 5% dev. We're going to go with 10% here. So 90% liquidity and 10% devs. And this is the vesting preview. So this is the amount that is going to unlock daily. So about 100 million TT vest over 180 days. If launched today, the schedule ends on this date in 2026. Hopefully, okay. So the TT is actually created, which is pretty amazing. I mean, it took in very less amount of information and it created a very awesome image. So once that is done, we're going to pick the BNB launch depth. So it also guides you, that is something we talked about before. The BLS guides developers through this entire process and tells them what is the best for it. So I'm going to go with growth. And we can check the launch wallet before ignition. So we have this amount of token in the wallet, and this is the amount that is required. So obviously we have that. Of course, this is just testing. Fee allowance approval will be requested before launch. So for BNB liquidity, we have about this amount of BNB, actually TBNB, and we need 0.02 BNB plus gas. And this is all the information for us to review. And once everything is done, we're going to click on launch meme. Now we are going to approve it from the MetaMask. We're going to click on confirm, and it is confirmed. So we're going to go ahead with some more approvals. Click on confirm. Preparing standard meme contract, separating fee liquidity, deploying meme token, creating transparent vesting, creating and protecting LP, publishing launch profile. Now it's actually pretty cheap, and it's really amazing because this is something that, like I said before, something that retail can trust. So it says structured launch, confirm the meme token launch record, visible liquidity LP, production transparent vesting, and public launch profile are confirmed. So we have the token actually launched, and it took maybe a few seconds. Obviously I was explaining to you guys, but once I have all these things decided, it's going to take me a few seconds to actually launch this. And we have the launch certificate. So we have all the information that is right here. And I mean, this is pretty amazing. Now we actually get this badge that we can display on the project. So it says share this badge on the project website and link it back to the public beacon record. So it comes, it brings users to the beacon record. So the users can actually confirm everything on their own. Now we have the option to view on the beacon, and we get the LP peer address, the LP lock, the dev wallet, everything else, that is right here. Now the next process is to view it on the beacon. So let's go ahead and see what we see here. Obviously, we're not going to see any record here because we're not doing anything. No developers are actually requesting anything, but it'll still be amazing to see the interface in itself. So we have the Brigid Forge certified because we fulfilled all the requirements, all the criteria that they had us do in order to get this certificate. That means people can trust us because it's really safe, it's secure. You don't have any, it's impossible to do a rug pull here. Now, this is where users can get every bit of information here, who the deployer is, and the most important thing here is the allocation structure. And this is absolutely live. Now, as of this moment, like I said before, there are no active requests. And but when there are requests, because they're time delayed, and there's a 1 day delay. So when developers request to withdraw, there will be a 1 day delay in it. And in that 1 day period, users will see that request here and they will know what the developer wants to do. So you get everything here transparently. And this is the whole system, which you can see is pretty amazing. It's mind-blowing. And that is something that I said, it's going to be very, very revolutionary. Now, you get the information about the Brigid token. It's going to launch very, very soon. And they share information about the revenue. We talked about the revenue split here. This is their allocation. So 70% for liquidity pool, 20% for treasury, and 10% for dev allocation. And the revenue also funds the treasury, and part of it gets burned, which is pretty amazing. So 40% goes to stakers, from the revenue, 50% to treasury, and 10% goes, it is burned. And we have all the token parameters here. So like I said before, it uses the same standard that any token that launches through the Brigid launch system will have. So there will be, the supply will be fixed, no new tokens can be created, there is no mint function, so you cannot mint new tokens. Liquidity is locked for 24 months. LP tokens cannot be removed during the lock period. The contract ownership is renounced, so no one can modify the contract after launch. And you have linear vesting on the developer and the treasury allocation. And this is the revenue split that we have discussed before. So, and this is the same standard that, like I said before, all the tokens that launched through the BLI system will have. And yeah, this is the entire project. As you can see, it's pretty revolutionary. And this is going to bring a lot of change in the industry, because now developers can launch project and be sure that people can trust them because of this system. And it also holds developers, and the team accountable, because now they cannot rug pull people. And if this becomes the industry standard, I think it's going to be pretty amazing. And for the project in itself, I mean, the Brigid token, as the demand for this platform increases, as more developers and teams use this to launch their project, they will be generating more revenue. More revenue means more for the stakers, more for the burn. And that, that's, I think, where is the true value proposition here. And because of this new demand and more, demand that is increasing day by day, it will obviously impact the price of the Brigid token in itself. So this is the system. I think it's pretty amazing, and I think everyone here should test it out. If you are a developer, if you want to launch your token, and if you have a genuine project and a genuine idea, I think you can bring it to life using this, and you will have more chances of succeeding in this market through this. So make sure that you test it out. I'm going to give you guys all the links that will be in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video shortly. So stay tuned.